Hey, welcome back to the channel. Man, from episode 204, I'm gonna call it episode 204. I'm gonna read the plot synopsis and we'll go from there. Now, this is gonna be a very short video because I want it to be. But the reason why is because I don't have that much to talk about, but I ain't gonna lie, I enjoyed this. But as Boyd's condition grows more alarming, Sarah's return to the town puts him in a difficult position. Jim shares a troubling new theory. I love how they explain this stuff, and I love how they put that up there so you can use it as a guideline to what you want to talk about. Character development. Character development. When I watched this yesterday, because I was a little late watching it, because I was watching Evil Dead Rise, which Evil Dead Rise just blew me away. I was shocked how good that was. One of my kids was telling me, only one kid of mine said he watched it and he didn't care for it. But anyway, we're talking about From. But this one is called This Way Gone. This Way Gone. And this one to me is more of a character development, because if you really watch this, this is again why I must tell you how much I enjoy this show, because I love to sit down and watch a show that is so compelling and so gripping that they put you in the situation to where you're trying to figure out, if I was in that situation, one, I'd be trying to survive. Two, I'd be wanting to make sure those things do not drop down. Me being the way I am, I'm gonna be in that house. I'm gonna be in the house with a bunch of people. I'm just gonna be in the house. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna be in one of them houses unless I had a girlfriend or something and a kid. That ain't happening. So I'll be in the house. I'll tell you straight out, I would be in the house with a bunch of people. But anyway, Boyd's condition is getting worse, and then he's talking to Kenny. Kenny doesn't realize they had a flashback to Kenny's dad, because Kenny was close to his dad, and his dad was sick. And Kenny and his mom decided to put him in that place, so, there was no way he can get killed. But he didn't know that Sarah was responsible for his dad getting killed. But Sarah's having all these, Sarah really is a key to what's going on. But the problem is, Boyd is going to have a hard time trying to convince everybody that she can hear things and it has something to do with what's going on in that area. But what I do love about this series is about this episode was it really did a good job of introducing you to characters. I mean, it introduced you to characters. And what I like about that, if you watch this series, which I know some of you are, it went from over here to over here to over here. Like, for instance, when the bus lady and I think his name is Jade. Jade was trying to find a place because Jade, he's kind of out there. He's still trying to figure out what's going on too. But then Jim Matthews, which is the Matthews, the people that we first seen last year that ran into these people, they're the main family in this thing. But Jim, he's trying to figure out what's going on. I know everybody else is too, but Jade, he's trying to figure out stuff. He's trying to connect all the dots, but he was trying to find a place just to chill out. And then that bus lady was in there drinking by herself. I like that moment because what was cool about that moment was, she was saying, how she took that job just to celebrate her getting her degree or something like that. And then she did that to make some extra money, and then she ends up there, and then she was talking about that one kid had a premonition, and then he was sitting in the background. He was just more or less telling her, he goes, we all got the backstories, He sometimes is a little dick to me, but then he walks up to her and he sits down with her and he starts to drink with her, and then they had a moment there where they said something that was funny. And what I like about that there's moments in here there was some funny moments in here. There's times where, they sit there and they tip the glass and he said something to her that made her laugh. And that's the first time I ever seen that woman, laugh. And then there was a part where Boyd and oh, what's that woman's name? Boyd and I think it's Krista. Boyd and Krista. When Boyd got sick and he fainted, Krista was in there trying to talk to him. She says, "You're under a lot of stress, and you need to just, chill out and stuff because you're still under a lot of stress." And he started laughing. She was sitting there like, "The hell?" And then he's like, "We're all under a lot of stress." And he said, "How can you say I'm under a lot of stress when we're all of us, every one of us under stress?" And then she sit there and she started laughing. So there was moments in here that was just, look, who's ever writing this is doing a damn good job. I mean, a damn good job because, and then Victor and little, oh, what's the Matthews kid's name? Julia Matthew, Tabitha, Ethan. Ethan was upset because Victor's mad at him because Ethan tried to tell him, say, "Hey, I told Jay not to go in your room." And then, Victor was mad at Ethan, so Ethan, he pouted and he left the house, and his sister Julie had to follow him because she was talking to that one kid that we don't know too much about. Now, this is an odd video, but I'm just trying to say that if you really paid attention to that, we got introduced and we got to get to know these new characters a little better. And I ain't gonna lie, I am digging that girl's fiance. I really am. Because Julie went to go look for Jim because Jim's supposed to be recovering and laying down and chilling. She goes in there, who are you? And she goes, "Well, I think she said her name is, what's her name? Oh, what is her name? I think her name is, Mara. Mara is her name. Yeah, got it, Mara." And she goes, "Who are you?" She goes, I'm just, I was on the bus," and they kind of introduced herself, and she goes, "I'm just here trying to check the inventory of all the medicine that's in that medicine chest." And they introduced them to that way. And then she goes to Jim, and Jim's outside, and Jim's looking at that house, and he was trying to tell her that before that house collapsed, he heard something on that frequency radio that they was doing in the last season. And he said, he warned us that if you keep digging, the house would collapse, and it did. So he was trying to tell his wife that. He was like, "You know what? What if somebody's really watching this? What if this is a test?" And she was like, "Well, what kind of test could it be?" So I'm jumping around here, but because I want to make this video very short. I just thought it was a very good episode of character development. The show said, let the viewers get to know some of these new characters. And I love that. I love that. And then I got that dude's name down finally. Randall, I think is his name, is the cocky white dude. Him and Donna got into it because Randall was beating up this dude because this dude got into stuff. And then Fitma is the girl that's getting ready to get married to Boyd's son, Ellis. They were in the kitchen. She goes, "Well, maybe you need to lighten up a little bit." She goes, "No, he's a freaking prick." And she goes, this one's different. She goes, "He's going to be a problem." And she said, "Well, maybe, you may not." She goes, "Well, why don't let's give him the whole daggone half of the wing?" And then Fitton was looking at her like, "That's not what I meant." And she just sit there, and she nailed this role so good. She sit there and she was like, "F it." The cocky white dude's name is, I think his name is Randall. He's laying on the couch just chilling. And she said, "Get up." He's like, "Why?" She said, "Get up." And he looked there like, "Screw you." She took that axe and she swung at him and missed him and hit the wall. And he got up. She goes, "I want you to get the F out of here." So he says, "Fine." So he starts grabbing stuff, and then it cuts to where she walks into the bus. And then the new lady, the bus lady, which is named, what is her name? Bus lady is named Barda. Bus lady's name is Barda. And she was backing the bus up, and then Donna walked up. She goes, "I just figured I'd just push the bus out of the way." Now she goes, and the guy's like, "Where are you taking me?" She goes, "Just come on." And then she took him to the bus. She goes, "This is your new home." She goes, after all what you've seen and after all what you witnessed the first night, she goes, you still can't get it through your thick skull about what's going on here. She goes, so here's your new home. Here's your little rock. She goes, make sure it stays up and don't fall down. She goes, if it falls down, you're SOL. And he was like looking around, and he'd seen all that blood where those older couple got killed. And then she said, there's no blinders. There's no nothing. She goes, this way you could get to see those things at night and see what they're all about. And she goes, so enjoy. And she left him there, and he, you know, he always act like he's some badass, but his facial expression was like, cause see, you know, you can just pull the blinds down in all the houses. He has no blinds. He has no nothing. He has to stay in that bus and have those people knock on the door and say stuff to him. I like how they left that at a cliffhanger. But then Kenny and Boyd got into it because Kenny went down and talked to Sara, and Sara more or less told him, Kenny kept asking so much questions. I said, Kenny, man, you're going to have to stop asking her questions. She's going to end up telling you the truth. Sure enough, she said, because he said, I want to know why we, you know, because he wanted to put her in the box because he just thinks what she did was unforgivable. She killed her brother. She killed somebody else and tried to kill somebody else, something like that. I know she killed her brother, sliced his throat. And then she tried to kill that little boy. And then he was trying to find out, you know, why Boyd thinks that she's so important. He said, I need you to tell me. And she goes, I can't tell you. And he just kept pushing her. And it cuts to Boyd talking to this older lady. And then Kenny got the truth out of her because she was responsible for Kenny's dad dying. So, because she was doing what she was told by all those voices. And then Kenny and Boyd, at the ending, yeah, of this episode was Kenny and Boyd, you know, because Boyd has been not telling Kenny the truth. And Kenny gave him his badge back. So now you got a problem here because I was like, man, dang, man. Because I didn't care for that. Because I was like, man, I really wish Kenny didn't find out, but now Kenny found out. But what I thought was kind of weird was Kenny went and confronted Boyd, but he did have that sidearm, you know what I mean, with bullets. I'm surprised he didn't lose it and shoot her down there in that basement because, you know, she was responsible for his dad dying because he always wondered how they got in there and killed his dad. So anyway, to wrap this up, Kenny said, you know, because Boyd has lied to him like several times, but he lied to him, but he was trying to, Boyd's got so much going on right now. It's just like, so this is getting pretty interesting. This is getting pretty interesting. So anyway, I did not want to go past 13 minutes, and I'm almost on 13 minutes. But anyway, character development. I like this. This is like the creators and the writers of this show says, let us introduce the viewers to our new cast. I ain't lying. I like Christy's fiance. I like her. I like her for some reason. There's something about her I like. You know what would be funny? If her and Christy gets close and Christy says, you know, Christy's fiance, which is named, what is her name? Which is named Mara, would say, you know, while you was gone, I got involved with somebody else. You know, wouldn't it be crazy if she threw, you know, we'd be sitting there watching and she's like, you know, because she obviously still cares for her. She probably thought she was gone. She knew where she was at, but I doubt that happens. But then Jim was also saying to his wife that, do you know that Christy's fiance was on that bus? So don't you think that's a little odd that Christy's fiance was on that bus? There's still something about Christy's fiance being on that bus. You know, so anyway, that's all I got. A little further than what I can't understand why. Anyway, I just want to say, you know what? If you was there, you know, they're eating real well. How are they taking showers? Where all the soap come from? You know, I was sitting there going, man, they got some clean clothes. And where are they taking the shower at? You know, and how are they getting so clean? You know, I know there's got to be some body odor going on around in there because I know there's got to be a few people skipping showers every now and then. But anyway, that's just me thinking it out loud when I was like, because if I was there, I'd be like, hey, man, look, I got to take a shower. I don't like where I smell. I don't care if we ain't got no deodorant or nothing, but I'm going to get some water on me somewhere, man, you know, because I got to get this smell off of me. So anyway, God bless, take care. We'll catch you next video. We'll see you.